Amine dropped surprise album 1.5 recently, and I decided to give it a listen. Now, I am not the biggest Amine fan. I've not really followed the guy, but from the songs that I have heard from him, he seems to have a fun, excitable personality that seems to really shine through in his music. And so I said, let me try a full Amine project. And this is what I got on my initial listen. As the first intro track, what I take from intro tracks is usually that they're supposed to get me ready to dive into this album and potentially introduce me to how this album is going to function conceptually and musically. However, this album took a different turn with it. On the first intro track, Dr. Whoever, which was very memorable to me for how it attacked the toxic mindset that African American males may have developed over time due to the fact that stereotypes and other prevalent things have tried to teach them that holding in their emotions, not showing any emotion, and basically bottling everything up to a potentially unhealthy standpoint is in fact healthy. Dr. Whoever serves as a kind of call out to that and saying, no, you shouldn't do that, and even I should follow my own advice that I'm giving here. It's a really sober kind of start, and with that you believe that since he's saying, hey, I know these things are problems, I know these things are issues, and I know these things are something that haunt me, and that I know I'm feeling depressed and suicidal, and I feel like I should counteract that by going and speaking to a professional that's able to not judge me but give me assistance in order to feel better. With that in mind, following up the rest of the album seemed like it would have this kind of tone of I'm combating demons and I'm facing things and facing issues and not simply using partying, sex, drugs, and alcohol in order to fix my problems, but I'm actually attacking my problems one by one or in whatever list he had. However, that's not what we get on the rest of the album. In terms of the rest of the album, the songs kind of can be smushed together. It doesn't feel like he's actually trying to attack that mindset, and you can say, well, he did say these are the things that make him feel better, but it just kind of disappoints me because Dr. Whoever seemed like it's supposed to be an intro to him starting to talk about these things, and instead it was just this emotional intro. And I think what could have happened is you could have put it at the end if you wanted to keep the same set of songs in order to then have it have a different feeling, like, oh, you listen to all this party, all this bragging about diamonds, and at the very end you realize that none of it is really as meaningful as you think, because this is how he truly feels. For him to do it at the beginning kind of makes it the message almost a little muddled, because then it doesn't have that same impact that it did when I listened to it the first time and went, oh man, I don't know what's going to come next. He's probably going to talk about how this affects him on this track or whatever. Instead, I got bragging about diamonds in like 17 different ways and bragging about this and this in 17 different ways. As far as other tracks go that seem to be close to Dr. Whoever in terms of their messages, Why and Together were two very cool points where in Why it felt like he was trying to find the point of what exactly was making him sad, depressed, upset, suicidal, what was plaguing him and why he couldn't seem to find a solution to it. I thought that was cool, and I was like, why didn't we get more of this? Together was him trying to figure out, like, in terms of a former love or former flame, why things didn't work out and hoping that maybe they do in the future. He was trying to get to the point. He had G Herbo and Rico Nasty, and I want to say that was about it. And as far as the features went, Rico Nasty was fine. She did what she was supposed to do, and she fit the content, and she rapped about basically the stuff that Amine was rapping about, which was just more brags. It's cool. It wasn't anything. G Herbo felt awkward, and I just was like, why is he rapping like that? There's a way to rap off beat and make it sound cool, but it just felt like he was trying to catch up with the beat, and it was just kind of disappointing. The only other thing that I really disliked, well, it became grating, was the use of the YouTuber, I believe it's a YouTuber, and how he would introduce us to the track, like, oh, why are you celebrating your birthday? I was like, okay, fine, I've heard this type of stuff, but he used it so much that it was just like, okay, I have to listen to this guy like rant however many minutes before the song starts, or I have to listen to him rant for the song to end. It was just kind of grating. I feel like if Amine would have used it more sparsely, it could have been more enjoyable to be like, oh, okay, this is the skit part. But instead, it felt kind of flat after a while, and like I said, it just got annoying because I'm like, okay, I just want to listen to music. I am guilty of that. But when your intro is Doctor Whoever, you kind of have my expectations get set at a certain point. Like the little outros in a few of the songs, I was like, wait, what is that? Why isn't there more of this? Overall, musically, I enjoyed this project. I'm not hating on this project for what it did musically. Musically, I think it was fun, and it had somber moments and it had introspective moments musically. But as far as the message goes and as far as what it seemed like it was going to do, it felt like it missed a chance to talk about deeper things. And I'm not saying you have to talk about deeper things. There are many rappers who have enough charisma that they can say the same thing over and over again in different ways, and it sound good enough that we don't question it. Even though I felt like most of this project was lacking in the lyrical content and messaging that it could have partaken in, it does not mean that I won't replay some of these songs. I think most of the songs definitely have personality and they have enjoyment, but it can be a little derivative at times if you're trying to listen to this album over and over again and expecting anything different in terms of what he's talking about. You're not really gonna find it beyond Why, and I want to say Can't You, where he talks about not touching his hair, which is obviously a point of contention for America for some reason. Like, we have to like tell people not to touch our hair, especially as a black person. And Together, as far as like concepts and messages meaning something deeper than just the surface level. Everything else seems to have a homogeneous state, and thus you don't really get anything different. You know what this guy says? Dang, I can't think of a math joke with the calculator and the thing. Yeah, come in. Have you tried dividing? Just go. What? You kicking me out? What? Just go. Alright, I guess I'll just go. Just go. I guess it'll never add up.